What up? All right, welcome back to the Millennial Meltdown podcast. I'm here with Trevor Mischo.
Oh, so close.
Mischo?
Yeah, there it is. Mischo.
I knew it wasn't me. It's not the me.
That's
it's
what everyone
Mish.
goes right to is the Mischo.
I know. I've heard you correct people before. Mischo.
Yep, Mischo.
Mischo. Fuck.
Mischo. This is my problem. Is I wanted to start a podcast like a year ago, and it would be called the Mischo for Show. And then if you there's no way you could get it mistaken after that.
All right, that's
a good name.
That's a good name.
It's going to be used for something. I hope there's no other Mischos.
That's rock solid naming right there.
In the business. Oh, dude, I had such big plans for this thing. I bought one arm like this. I bought a microphone and sat and was like, I got nothing to say, and then sold it to some kid who wanted to stream Fortnite for more money than I paid for all of it.
Hey,
so
that's fair.
Big come up.
I have some old shit that I need to get rid of that I'm like, I could probably sell this to some kid.
Dude, I'm going to throw it away. I'll never do anything to help myself make money because it's too much work.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was thinking about, because it's called the Millennial Meltdown podcast.
Yeah.
And I am not one of those.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. You're the first to not be a millennial on the podcast.
But I definitely share the same attributes as like the caricature of a millennial.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even kidding. So I hate being late to anything. So on my way here, I was stopping and getting gas, and I had just put $20 in. I was like, I went inside, I got cigarettes, and I was like, $20 on pump 6. And, you know, like when it's getting to the $20 mark and it starts to slow down.
Yeah.
I stopped. I stopped and got in my car and left.
Yeah.
With like $1 worth of gas left. I'm like, I don't have time for this.
You took the pump out, though, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I didn't drive right off.
Okay, some people do.
Listen, there's videos on the internet. Some people are that stupid. But I'm like, yeah, fuck that dollar.
I actually watched one of those videos today.
So privileged.
Yeah.
So my mom treats me so well. She bought me these red shoes.
Those are good red shoes. I appreciate the red shoes. Red's my favorite color.
It's a good color, man.
Fun fact.
You can always just claim you're a blood. That's nice to have in your back pocket whenever.
I don't think you want to do that.
No? Okay.
Not these days.
Do you ever think like maybe you should make your internet mistake early? Like say things that are going to get you in trouble. Just get it done and out of the way with.
I probably already have.
You think so?
Yeah. Like I've thought about it on the podcast. Like I've done 40 of them, 45 of them now or whatever. So I've thought about it. Like I've said a lot of things. And I'm like, probably if someone went through it, they'd be like, what the fuck, man?
If they just made a clip of one portion, could maybe ruin everything for you.
Maybe.
Like that's what it's all about.
But then again, like I always say, I would be psyched if someone cared that much.
Yeah.
So if my podcast went viral because of something terrible I said.
Marketing. That's what that is.
And they'd be like, oh, this guy doesn't even have that many viewers.
Yeah. And then now, because of my racial outburst, I'm up on the top.
Fuck it.
And then even the people you offended, you don't really need them anyways. There's people that probably hate those people just as much.
Yeah.
You'll always be able to find your market.
I mean, shit, look at Shane Gillis, you know?
Yeah, and he's doing fine. I mean, he's starting to pop up a little bit more. To be honest, I didn't know who that was until the whole thing came out with him talking about Asian people.
A lot of people probably didn't.
And now, dude, because of that being such a big thing, that for me, as somebody who listens to podcasts all the time, that really kind of like made me go more into New York comics. I had no idea anything about them. So like Andrew Schultz started to blow up.
Oh, I love Andrew
really
Schultz.
Big.
Did you go see him when he was here?
No, I didn't. All right, I got a funny story. So I was at a show, and my friend Cam, you know Cam Sneed. Mm-hmm. He's an Asian fella. Speaking of Shane Gillis,
he's the triracial angel.
He was partially offended by Shane Gillis. He couldn't be fully offended, and he had bought tickets to see Andrew Schultz on like a Friday, and it was Saturday now, and he couldn't go the night before because he had a show. He didn't know he like double booked himself because he's, so successful, so popular, and John, we know a guy that works there, and he said, "Hey, I bought a ticket on Friday. I can't make it Friday. Can I just come Saturday?" And the guy who worked at the Improv was like, "Yeah." And so
that's sick.
We messaged the guy and said, "Hey, are there any open tickets available?" And he didn't respond. So we just drove there anyways. And when we drove there and we fucking parked, I mean, the line it's a 2-story building, so the line, there was 400 people in line, and I'm like, we're not gonna
400 people in line
to go see Schultz Saturday night, the late show.
Oh, yeah.
So we were
the
thinking,
late show people have to wait in line until the early show people get out, and then the line is insane. Yeah.
So we figured we could get free tickets if we made it to the door, but we were in the position where we were like, we're not going to skip along and walk past all these people, go to the door, and then get rejected and have to walk back.
Yeah.
And I felt bad because he had already bought in one ticket, and they cleared it up and said, you can come to this show. So then I made him drop me off and then him go back, so then he wouldn't have that opportunity taken, because what if they only had like one seat available?
Yeah.
And so I felt like I was holding him down, so I made him drive me 30 minutes out, and then he came back. But he got to see the show at least.
Well, that's nice.
I almost saw him. I've never actually been in the Tempe Improv before.
Really?
Nope, not once.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was hoping, I was like, I'm not going to go there until I'm performing there. That's when I'll go to the Tempe Improv, whenever they have that.
That's funny.
An open mic there.
I know. I was bummed they canceled it last night.
Yeah, hopefully next week. I don't know what's happening. I know there's some issues about making sure they have like staff working there because they're not normally open.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I was wondering about that. Like, they're just going to have like one bartender and you walk out there.
That would make sense. I mean, because at CB Live it was easier because the whole place was open. You could get food and all that. And all that local stuff that we're talking about. All these local open mic things.
Well, I also wondered about that because CB Live would have like a crowd. They'd have people who would just come in there and watch. But Tempe Improv doesn't have that.
But I think that because of its location, I think because of it being in downtown Tempe, and there was talks.
You could put up some signs.
Yeah, there was talks about like having like an ASU person booked on each show to kind of like bring more ASU people. And there's this kid who goes to ASU, and I've met him a couple times. His name's Cooper. I don't know his last name, but dude, I don't know any guys who just do like one-liner jokes. Yeah. And that's all he does.
Really?
And they're fucking great.
Does he have curly hair?
Funny. No, short blonde hair. He's super tall, super skinny. He looks 6. His cheeks are always so rosy because he's nervous, but then just fucking kills every time I see him.
Really?
Yeah. The guy's great. It's so cool to see people come in and out, especially out. I like when people leave.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, like, clear some room. But then I also feel bad when some people leave because there's some people who I feel like get down on themselves and they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is sad. And then they dip, and I'm like, dude, there's people who are way worse than you that have not gotten the memo.
This is sad.
that
Hey, it happens though. What can you do?
There's I was talking to somebody, it's like within a calendar year here, maybe, you might have 100 comics, open mic level, just starting out, trying to be funny. And like maybe, I don't know the statistic yet, but maybe 50% of them leave. But almost every week I'm seeing, damn near every week, people I've never seen before go up and try it. Like constantly, which is so cool to see.
I will agree with that.
I think the turnover rate is high.
A lot of people. Or there's, and it's really funny, the amount of people that want to announce it when they get on stage.
Oh, God.
People are like, this is my first time, or this is my second time. And it's
get
like,
those claps.
Cool, man.
Fuck you. I want to say it every time I go up. I'm going to start. Yeah. Every single time I go up, I'm going,
this is my first time.
Guys, take it easy on me. Sorry if I run the late. I remember this one time, this guy, he brought his mom with him. And he was like, it's my first time. And of course, we're supportive. Like, it's a good jump. But then the dude ran the light by like 6 minutes.
Really?
So he's been up there for 11 minutes and really not talking about anything. And then you could see that joyous kind of like support go away after each minute of him staying up there. And the guy's like lighting him. He has no idea. It was hilarious. I never saw that guy again.
I think more places need to play music when people are going over their time.
Yeah, dude. Like the fucking Oscars, just play people off.
Dude, that's what they do at Improv Mania. And I've always thought it was like a very subtle thing to be like, hey, man, it's been 5 minutes and 10 seconds. You're wrapping this shit up.
It's time. And plus, you got other people going up,
And they would just start it out like a little slow, like the music, and then they would just get it like super loud so you couldn't hear the mic anymore.
Yeah. He was like, so the Asian market, and Sweet Caroline's playing behind him. He's like, I guess I gotta go.
Yeah.
I guess I gotta get out of here.
And now Ryan does the same thing, just plays his harmonica, but.
Yeah. Oh my God. I haven't been there in so long. Ryan's a great person.
Me neither. I haven't either.
What a nice guy, Ryan Paul Johnson. What a good name, too.
Super nice guy. I was gonna ask you all the basic shit that I ask people on here.
Let's go through it.
By all the basic shit, I mean like ask you one question and then go off tangents and never ask you a question again. But where are you from? How long have you been doing comedy? When did you move to Phoenix?
Mm-hmm. All these kind of have something to do with each other. It's
I know we've talked about it.
So I moved here in April of last year from Wisconsin, and that's where I was born. I was born in a city called Racine, Wisconsin. And the first time I did stand-up was July 5th, 2018. So the day after 4th of July, I went to my first open mic, and there was only one open mic, and it was in the next town over. There was only one, and it was a once-a-month open mic. And that place would fill up like 30 to 60 people, and you do 5 minutes, and I didn't know. I was like, what do you mean a punchline? What does that mean? So I just would tell stories. So it's hard for me to say that that's where I started, but that's the first time I went up. And I went up probably 8 times in Wisconsin as a whole, and then moved here in April, and then did like 8 mics in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, this is completely different. It's nothing like that. And then I realized some of the spots were 3 minutes, and I realized nobody was telling stories because you don't know that everyone's going to hear what you're going to have to say, because these comics are always in the audience 1,000 times over. So if you're going to tell a story, it's got to be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, was that worth it? So from Wisconsin, moved here in April. I moved in with my mother. That's how I had like the in, because I wasn't just going to pick up and move and try to like survive. God, no. I need a cushion. I need a fucking safety net. So my mom moved here 3 years ago. And when I decided to move, it was because I found Trevor, not to be mistaken with me, Trevor Skies. He has a website, and it has all the open mics in Phoenix in it.
Yeah.
And I was looking at that like 6 months before I moved. And I would just look every night. I'm like, look at this. What is Catalina's? Well, I wonder what that place is like. And kind of like really built up a lot of like suspense to moving here. And then so when I got here, I was like, this is fucking it. This is great. This is better than anything I've ever done.
Yeah.
And we're at the ground level,
Totally.
Which
That's
is so
great,
fun.
man. Yeah, so you only did like 8 mics before really April, and then you really got started in April.
Yeah. That's because if I say I started in July of 2018, I feel like people might suspect that I should be better than I am.
Oh, no, I don't know.
I don't think anyone really cares at all.
No, I don't know, man. I think a lot of people judge people like for like, how long have you been doing comedy? Oh, 5 years. Oh, cool, man. Like, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people get super judgy about it. Like,
probably internally.
Yeah, for sure.
But they have to be, because it's kind of like there isn't a competition in the scene or whatever you want to call it here. I mean, everyone is super supportive on the outside, everyone says hi to each other. It's hard to know what people are thinking, and it's hard to not think about what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Does this person respect me? Or like trying to, dude, it's so much like high school. It is so much when I came here and like found the scene.
It's just like high school,
It's so cliquey. There's seniors, there's freshmen.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But like super, super, super seniors.
Yeah.
And they've been here for a while, man.
That's true, too.
But it's so cool, man. It's cool to see even the guys who have been here for like a while and they're still in Phoenix, just because they didn't move anywhere yet, doesn't take anything away from their fucking talent as a comic. And I noticed within the past 2 months, like more people start to talk to me or have conversations with me. And I think about, as I was saying before, there's so many people that leave and enter. Like, I feel like the guys who have been doing this for, more than 3 years see people come and enter on a way bigger scale. Like, people that come and do it for a year and then drop out. Like, I haven't been able to see that yet. So they don't even really like waste their time with people who they think are like new at it.
Yeah, right.
It's like, you got to do your time. And not like there's a hierarchy, but it kind of felt that way. Like,
there's kind of a hierarchy.
There is.
A little bit, yeah.
But I always...
it's very much just like high school. There's seniors,
there's a
juniors.
Cool table,
There's the sophomore class that are in that like 1 to 3 year range.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just a freshman, so I totally get it, man.
I feel the same way. I feel that, and because it didn't matter how many mics I did before, when I moved here. I'm new to everybody.
Right.
So, and dude, like, it's so crazy to think because when you're in it, you don't know you're not being very good on stage or whatever your issue is. But then when I look back at like the first 2 months where I listened to audio recordings, I'm like, holy fuck, I was so bad.
Yeah.
But when you're in it, you're like, this was great. I fucking killed.
Yeah.
These 8 people laughed so hard.
Yeah.
And then you listen back to it. I'm like, I'm going to fucking find a roof.
Right. That's how it's always going to be, though.
Yeah.
It's like everyone has that first year. Everyone has the second year. Everyone has the third year.
And that's a goal, man. I feel like so many people are so worried about, especially like in their first year, writing like really, really thought-provoking or really funny jokes. And part of my brain's like, in 3 years, like if you're doing your job correct, I think you shouldn't be doing probably any of this material, right? Like the shit you wrote in your first year, because it's ever evolving and ever growing and your perspective gets better. That doesn't mean it wasn't good.
You would hope that you're writing better jokes 3 years from now, for sure.
But again, I haven't done it for 3 years. And just like when I came here, I did not understand the process like I thought it would. I had a way different expectation of what this would be like than being in it now. And so even that might change my perspective.
Yeah.
Dude, this is pretty recent. I was like, a couple people giving me like a tag on something. I'm like, I don't want to use that. I didn't write that. I don't want to use it. And then the people who I like really respect, I bring it up to them and they're like, you know this joke? That tag was written by so-and-so. I'm like, everyone uses it because it's like we're helping each other, you know?
Yeah.
And so now that it's happened, and it sucks, dude, because this one tag I have, John Carden gave it to me like a month ago, and it works almost better than the rest of the joke. Like the tag itself is funnier than everything around it.
That's great, though.
And it is great. And he saw it do really well once at Los Diablos, and he goes, I shouldn't have given you that. Or something along the line, like, I was like, you can have it back. I've only used it like twice, but it is fucking great.
Yeah.
It works so well. The support, man. This whole thing is so weird.
Yeah.
Like being immersed in it.
It is weird.
Like, do you have family members or friends? I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody who knows anybody who's tried to do stand-up, you know?
No, I don't either.
I don't know anyone who's a songwriter. I don't know anyone who writes fucking poetry, you know? And so all of my frame of references is it's all like it's all like, get a job, you know, be responsible. Yeah. I'm like, nah, I'm going to tell dick jokes. Nah. I'm going to get the fuck out of this state.
I mean, all our options, right? So
it's so cool.
You just got to do whatever works.
My life is so great is what I'm trying to say.
I think
and if your life isn't great, go fuck yourself.
It's good to feel like that. Yeah. No, yeah, mine's pretty great.
Because if you're not being happy, man, I don't know what to do. I wake up, not every day, but there's a little bit of because of the scenario that I'm in. Like I get to live with my mom. I guess I don't know struggle that much, but like waking up and being like, what do I want to do today? Aside from like if you have a job, sure you got to go to work, but even at work, I'm just planning out what I'm going to do when I'm not at work.
Yeah,
and it's ever like I've been trying to like get myself to try a lot of new things. Because Zach Lyman was talking to me about this theory that I won't be able to regurgitate correctly.
Yeah.
We're going to fuck it up, I think. But he says that wrinkles, or he read or somebody told him that your brain has wrinkles. And the more wrinkles your brain has, the easier it is to connect thoughts together. Okay?
Yeah.
And he says what you can do to increase the amount of wrinkles in your brain is do shit that you would never normally do. So, for instance, at a smaller scale, if you brush your teeth with your right hand, start brushing your teeth with your left hand for no reason. Just start doing it every once in a while. And he says doing these things that take you out of your comfort zone create these wrinkles, which will in turn make you a stronger thinker.
Is this scientific or is it just like a fun thing to tell kids?
I think that it's in the back of a coloring book. Is where you can find this.
It sounds like a fun thing to tell kids, but I was super into it. I was like, this makes sense.
So then I started doing this shit. Like I'd go to a coffee shop and try to write or like revise my penis jokes. You know, try writing them in different orders.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's just not me, or at least what I think of what I am, to sit in a coffee shop and then write. And but I do it. I force myself to do it sometimes. I'm very lazy.
Yeah.
Like when I have these spells of trying new things, trying new ways to be creative, they only come every couple of months, and I only do it twice.
Yeah.
But it's enough to make an impact. Like, look at me. Because I definitely have that thought. I almost want to take a Snapchat and put that I'm at Giant Coffee just to be like those people. And like, look at what I'm doing. Look how different I am.
Yeah.
But it feels good to do new shit. So like I went like skateboarding yesterday and I got a little boo-boo. That's from that turf.
Fuck.
And I'm not athletic at all. I can ride on a skateboard, but this shit, like, you have to get low. I'm like trying to squat on a skateboard. I fell like 5 times and I'm just not good at it, but it was still fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to start listening to Limp Bizkit, and wearing etnies.
You should, though.
Maybe I should, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
If you didn't have a Limp Bizkit phase, you probably
for
need
sure.
one.
Bro, the rhythm section is just filthy, dude.
Pull that up to your mouth closer, by the way.
Up here. Yes. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Limp Bizkit's dope, dude. Sometimes I listen to Hollywood Undead sometimes. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, I fuck with Hollywood Undead. They just had a new album come out. What's up?
What's up? Shout out HU, baby.
Getting out of your comfort zone and doing new things definitely is good, though. I definitely can't argue with that. I mean, doing comedy in itself is getting out of your comfort zone in like every way, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, doing comedy in general is a lot of difficult things outside of doing comedy. It's like showing up to somewhere alone.
Yep.
Like talking to strangers. Like,
it's a weird process.
Like being a likable person and like, you know what I mean? Like having social skills other than like being like
goofy,
quiet at a table waiting for your turn. Like, it's not always just fucking getting on stage and doing jokes. Like, if you're not used to doing a lot of these things, or if you don't have friends, it's like, it's a lot to just go show up to an open mic and like hang around for 3 fucking hours with strangers and wait to do 5 fucking minutes into a microphone.
Dude, on top of that, like, I live way out, so some of these places, it takes me 45 minutes to get to. Yeah. Sometimes over an hour.
Yeah.
And especially when I first started, I didn't know anybody. I'm driving an hour to sit and be weird and totally in my own head. Like, these people are like, that's how I know I'm so into myself, is because I go, these people are always thinking about me. I always have that thought, like, am I eating weird? Am I drinking weird? Should I sit different? Because that fucking matters for some reason. But and even now, I don't have any like friends. I have like comics I like to hang out with. Yeah. But other than that, all day long, I'm just by myself for the most part.
Yeah.
Or I'm hanging out with comics only because we're gonna go do a mic that night, and so we're just gonna group up and drive together. And they're still, I'm not saying they're not friends, but it's just not the same. The stand-up is totally solo, but that's what I like about it too. You don't have to depend on anybody.
Yeah.
If you fail, it's almost always only your fault.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people can, with not in this, but blaming somebody for anything, it's so much easier to blame somebody else.
Oh yeah.
But it's like you turn into a mirror and you're like, like, I guess you're the only person I can yell at.
Failing at stand-up is all your fault all the time.
Yeah,
like,
so if you ever do bad,
other people.
Oh yeah.
It's really like, you really can't. It's like, yeah, you can, like, maybe it was a shitty crowd or whatever, but it's like, is that really an excuse? No, not really. Man. Like, it's like, dude, it was all you. Like, it was like,
you can see people.
You could have a whole bad show, like a whole show could go really bad, and you could blame it on the crowd or something. But
if you start blaming it on the crowd, I feel like you're just wasting.
Right, it's all time. You. It's like, if you had a bad night, it's on you, and it's for you to fix it. But it's the type of thing where you can have a good night literally an hour later. You know, if you have another set to do.
That's also so cool about here, and I guess it's not that common in the big cities for sure. But even like, I don't know, Kansas City, I'm sure there's a stand-up little scene there. But the fact that we can hit 3, 4, 5 mics in one night, if you have the availability, if you have nothing to do kind of earlier in the afternoon and you can stay out till 1 in the morning.
Right.
Yeah, man, Zach Allen works at 8 a.m. all the time, and he is out till 1 o'clock, 1:30.
No, dude, he's a trooper.
Oh, God.
It's very impressive.
He's a robotic machine, dude.
Oh, yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, dude, I just wait. Sometimes I catch him in the corner leaning down and plugging himself into a wall. I'm like, you fucking, I knew it. You robot.
That seems valid, too. I would fucking back that up.
Bro, he knows too many lyrics to too many hip-hop songs to be a real human.
Star Wars coaster, by the way.
Oh, my God, that's the millennial Falcon, huh?
Millennial Falcon. Huh? That was good. I see what you did there.
I read the thing. It's the name of the show.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was gonna say. Oh, yeah. I've said it on the podcast like a million times now, but I went to Ohio and did an open mic while I was out there.
Very white.
In Columbus.
Oh yeah.
And like they were telling me they have like 3 or 4 open mics a week, like total. Like that's it,
dude.
So it's like the same 20 to 25 people at every mic every week, and that's like their comedy scene there. But they have comedy clubs and like some of them, you know, get hosting gigs at the comedy club and stuff. But like it's not the same as it is here at all.
But take in a scenario, if you could take the same guy or girl, you know, I don't know what you're doing, but take the same person who has the same exact like ideals or jokes or whatever, and put one in Ohio and put one in Phoenix, right? And because of the amount of mics you can do more, does that make people progress or mature in the art form quicker because you have more exposure? Because the whole like 10,000 hours. Right?
I mean, for sure. And yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people bring that up, right? And like I've been doing comedy for 7 months. It's like I don't fucking know.
Somebody sign this guy.
But it's like with anything, like the more you do it, the better you're gonna get. But also,
you'd think
comedy is not one of those things that always dictates like you've been doing it 10 years, you're gonna succeed. Like
yeah.
But I will say that from my experience, just in that one town doing that one mic, it's just a whole different caliber of comedian at the open mics, in my opinion. Like, just because people are taking it more seriously here, and there are a lot more comedy shows, and there is kind of more opportunity, and we are closer to LA and more involved.
Yeah, like 5 hours,
the comedy scene. Yeah. So it was. I mean, I went out there 6 months into comedy, and I killed it at that open mic. A lot of those. I mean, I met a guy who was doing comedy for 6 years out there.
Yeah.
And I would have never guessed that he had been doing open mics for longer than a year. You know?
That's crazy, man. I going to LA in April.
Yeah.
A bunch of my friends are just meeting up, and we're getting an Airbnb. But I'm gonna try to go to like an open mic or two, because I don't want to take all the time away from what I'm supposed to be doing there. And then I'm going back to Wisconsin in June for a wedding, but I'm gonna go to Chicago, maybe twice, and go down there and try to hit open mics just to get, like you said, like in Ohio, the vibe. Because there's no way.
It would be so cool to do one in Chicago.
It's got to be so different. Like the material these people are talking about.
Chicago's got to be pretty good.
Yeah. And that was, when I moved, I was like, I could just stay here, I guess. Maybe move to Illinois, which isn't that far.
Yeah.
And, maybe drive an hour down to Chicago and try that. But I was like, fuck the winter, dude. Snow is just so gross and disgusting. And plus, I feel like Chicago, I had a perception of it that was a little bit more like you'd really cut your teeth down there. And because if my mom lived in Chicago, maybe I would have.
Yeah.
But I would have had to been way more like responsible and really had to like take care of jobs and where am I going to live and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to go there and just be able to stop there and just see if there's just a different vibe, because I feel like there has to be.
There's got to be.
Because I feel so isolated, dude, being from Wisconsin. And I thought I was kind of like a little bit of a hippie or whatever in Wisconsin, because of all the shit everyone I know cares about, I just never cared about any of it. They're like, you know what I did? When we went ice fishing, I sat with the fucking girls in the tent with the heater and a little fucking, a little tiny fishing pole while these guys were out there drilling holes in the earth trying to get fish. I always spent more time hanging out with my buddies' girlfriends.
Have you said that on stage?
Huh?
Have you said that on stage? No. That's pretty good.
But it's just I'm just not cut from the same cloth. And then I come here, I'm like, oh, these people are a little bit more accepting. Don't say midget, you know? Like, I think it's a nice, but it's really not. There's still always these shitty people. Which is great, because I still love to be around them.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you this because I want to talk about this. This girl I met online on Tinder. She invited me over to her house, and I was like, okay, I guess I got nothing going on. So I went over there, and she's like, I have friends over, by the way. So I get there,
What? She invited you over and she had friends over?
Yeah, but they had been drinking. So
hey, this guy's from Tinder. So
yeah, super weird. There's the weirdest setup, and this is the last time I ever do that because I have a whole complaint. I mean, God, it's so insufferable. Right. So I get there, and she goes like, "What type of music do you listen to?" And I'm like, I don't fucking know. What's the matter? She's like, "Do you rave?" And I'm like, "Did you just ask me, do I rave? That doesn't sound..."
Do you rave?
Correct. And so she starts playing rave music. I'm like, we're in a 500 square foot apartment with 4 people. What is the point of playing this fucking doop, 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 this whole music? And I'm sitting there, and these kids are talking. They're talking about taking ketamine. Like, that was always a joke. And I was like, what are you fucking taking horse tranquilizer? Like, talking shit. And they're like, it's not even a big deal. I'm like, what do you mean it's not a big deal? I'm like, you guys go to raves and take ketamine? And what is that? Is that a jewel? She's like, no, it's a puff bar. I'm like, what is that? What is happening? This dude's got a fucking dab like rig, but it's electric. And it's got a light, and he's just like walking around hitting wax. I was saying, I'm like, where am I, dude? I feel so weird. They're like, I'm like, have you ever heard of Alice in Chains? And they're like, what? And I go, I got to get the fuck out of here. And not to mention the time with the girl, there was no vibe there. I was having so much more fun talking with her friends than her, and which I'm sure made her horribly upset. And I was like, I got to get the fuck out of this house, dude.
So you're not a raver, huh?
No, I've never been to one. I don't know what the fuck that is. These people look at me like I'm crazy.
That's so funny.
I brought some Michelob Ultras because I'm like, you don't show up somewhere and don't bring anything unless if you're doing a podcast, then you bring them nothing. But
that's how I know you weren't raised here. You don't show up to someone's house and not bring them anything. Yeah, right. That's not an Arizona thing at all.
So I bring them beers.
That's like a Midwest thing for sure.
I bring beers to the thing, and they're like, we're not drinking that shit. And I'm like, well, I know Michelob's kind of a girly beer, but as the one guy's drinking a Truly, and these girls are drinking IPAs, and I drink it. It tastes like somebody fucking opened my mouth and shaved an orange peel into my mouth. That's exactly what it tastes like. I'm like, you enjoy drinking this? I'm not made for this. And then I find out that they're all like 24. They're even older than me. And I thought I was feeling old because these people are like doing Fortnite dances in the corner. I'm like, what's happening? She had like these lights. Oh, God. The girl. Oh, man. That's a whole. I don't fit in anywhere. But that's fine. It's like my thing, I guess.
I don't fit in anywhere. I don't think that's true. You fit in.
Unless if I really open up. I have to leave some of it inside. I have like everybody smokes weed here, dude. Yeah. Everybody smokes weed. And I was always like,
no, not really though. I mean, my fiance doesn't smoke weed.
No? Okay. All right. Well, listen, let's get her up here. Live on stream. Most of her friends rip this bong. A lot of the comics smoke weed, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a very stereotypical thing anywhere you go. But most comics probably smoke weed.
If I smoke weed, that thought I was having earlier about like, should I sit this way? Am I eating funny? It just intensifies. Like,
that's fair.
Unbelief.
But that's because you're not a stoner, right? Like right. It's not like it's like some people have really bad reactions when they go out and drinking, but it's because they're not used to it,
right?
So it's like I could sit there and smoke blunts all night with people in a parking lot or whatever, and it's not a big deal to me.
Yeah.
But I've had my med card for 6 years, and I've smoked weed since I was 13.
Wow.
So it's like it's not a big deal to me.
When I was 13, we were all like skateboarding and smoking weed, and then we like all throughout high school. I mean, we were even getting into some other shit. Like we were being fucking grimy, and then I just quit smoking weed because I was kind of like. I started working for a job, and they drug tested a lot. I'm like, it's too much of a hassle. I don't really have time to smoke weed. And then I come out here, and I hang out in these circles, and I take one hit off of a blunt, and I instantly go, who's watching me right now? I can't. But I'm not paranoid, like scared, but I just always, my brain, I don't shut up outward, and I definitely don't shut up inward.
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
fair.
Constant, like trying to reasure myself. I'm like, this just ain't for me.
I mean, that's fair.
I love it at the same time.
You need some CBD, low THC.
They make CBD joints.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, oregano.
Don't buy that.
No, what the fuck?
That. If you get CBD from a dispensary, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But don't buy
these little vape shops.
Don't buy those fucking CBD pre-rolls from fucking smoke shops, dude. Oh my God. Don't buy those.
I can't buy anything, dude. I can't buy weed. I got made fun of because my thing a couple years ago is I would buy a gram of weed a week. So this is how much I smoked. A gram a week.
That's that's like a standard amount for like a beginning stoner.
Yeah, so I would get home from work, hit weed a little, take a little puff of little weed. Maybe I would like empty out the end of a cigarette, just pack it up, and I would sit and like listen to a whole album. That was my thing, or watch a movie. And so I just kept on this low dose, and it got to the point because he kept giving me like a fucking nug, and I'm like, I don't have a grinder. I'm like, hey, can you just grind this for me?
Yeah.
And then he was like, sure, no problem. But really what he's doing is just giving me shake.
Yeah.
So I'm paying $20, and I was too afraid to drive and get the weed, a gram of weed. Yeah. So he would deliver it to my house. I'd pay him $20 and give me a bag of shake with stems in it. This guy was making a killing.
To your house.
Yeah. And I would take one, and I would like, listen, Queens of the Stone Age is the best album ever, man. Or, they're the best band ever. And I would sit and just take one little hit of weed. I go hang out with these guys. I take like 3 hits off a blunt. I'm in fucking outer space. And then I can't fathom somebody like Joey Diaz. I understand tolerance is a thing.
Yeah.
But I
ate 200 milligrams of edibles on Saturday, dude.
Oh my God, dude.
I was fine, bro.
Well, yeah. My buddy lives in.
I went to fucking Taco Bell.
You had a great time.
Yeah, it was good.
What do you order when you go to Taco Bell?
What's my go-to? Mm-hmm. Crunchwrap Supreme.
Ooh.
Bean burrito.
Okay.
Those two.
Those
for
are
sure.
the things, right?
Chicken loaded griller, but they got rid of that.
They did. There's only 2 left. My first job was at Taco Bell. I worked at Taco Bell for a year.
Fucking got rid of that. And other than that, I like to get some cinnamon twists every now and then.
Dude, when I worked there, because they would just be in these big bags, because you would make bags of them, and then individually bag them.
That's so great. You worked at Taco Bell. I don't think I've ever met
someone. No, that was my first job, dude. That shit was amazing. I worked my first one was at Taco Bell and a Pizza Hut
combined.
But it was only little like personal pan pizzas, and so I would just be in the pizza area, man. I was making little stuffed crust pizzas for my friends because I had raw material, Yeah, I could make whatever creation I wanted.
That's fucking great. What were you saying about the cinnamon twists? They come in a big bag.
So what you do is, when you unbox them, they're like little rigatoni noodles. It looks like the little spiral noodles. A bag of these noodles, and you're like, what the fuck are these? And you pour them into the oil, and then they expand to become, what the general public knows is a cinnamon twist. And then you put the sugar and shit in it. But then you would make like 6 bags worth. Which, who knows how many little bags I made. So there would always be one bag just open, and everyone would just eat cinnamon twists all day long.
Really?
It's like 3 for the customers, 1 for us. 3 for the customers, 1 for us. And we were just eating these all of the time back there. Dude, I would make food all of the time.
So funny.
Oh my God. I would mess up orders on purpose so I knew the customer wouldn't get it and then eat that shit.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, my brother's buddy was like a manager at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And we would
That's
go
a great
in there,
shirt that they get to wear.
And he would like, yeah, right. And he would like drop food on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, like wrapped up like Big Macs,
Oh.
And like drop it. And he's like, if I drop it, I can't sell it. So here you go. And he like, give me a free Big Mac.
Hell yeah.
And like,
that's what working at fast food's about. It's about hooking up your poor friends.
Yeah. And like when you're like 19 or 20, like who gives a shit, dude?
Yeah.
Like,
what am I going to do? Get fired from Taco Bell?
I miss working at restaurants for that like one reason.
Yeah.
Like you worked with a bunch of people your age.
Or older, and they're just fucking fucked.
Yeah. And they also don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And like, I worked at, my first job was Bob's Big Boy.
Bob's Big Boy?
Yeah.
What is Bob's Big Boy?
Yeah, the burger chain.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Really?
No, Bob's Big Boy?
It used to be a big thing. So, like, the Big Boy was where, like, McDonald's stole the Big Mac from.
No shit. Like, come on. This is a conspiracy theory.
No, back in the day, I swear to God. They're the same thing. They're the same burger.
I just imagine a manager who's like indebted to the company, and your monthly meetings would be like, we're doing great on the fries and the burger's doing good, and fuck McDonald's for taking away the Big Mac from us. Just constantly being reminded.
They're the same thing. Apparently, the founder of Bob's Big Boy like always hated McDonald's because of it. And if you look at the burgers, they're the same. Like, you know how Big Mac has like the lettuce and the sauce on the bottom?
Yeah,
that's a Big Boy. It's lettuce and sauce on the bottom. And it's Thousand Island sauce, like the same fucking sauce.
Yo, down with McDonald's.
Dude, it's the same shit. Anyway, though, that was my first job. But I got it, and I got just a hosting job. And my brother was the cook.
Maitre d'?
Yeah, same shit. Yeah, busboy, host.
Yeah.
And my brother was the cook, and like the servers were all people my brother's age that he went to high school with, so they're all like our friends.
Nice.
So like some nights it'd be like a Thursday or Friday night, and it'd be like 6 of us running the whole restaurant, and those were like the most fun fucking days.
Dude, I worked at a bar when I first moved here. That is some of the funnest. Like when you're working and you like every person you work with.
Yeah.
And you're all friends, and it's like you go behind, you go in the kitchen to talk shit about customers, but everybody's just homies.
Yeah.
That's so great. I miss that so much.
Or they're like, "Can I talk to a manager?" Like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah. And then I walk out.
Yeah.
I'm the manager. Yeah. What's the problem?
You're like,
go fuck yourself.
Fucking lady.
Yeah. Listen, we'll make sure that Christopher gets, rightfully
and then they leave, and you're immediately both like, fuck that lady.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Yeah, that's the best, dude. Those are always the best.
So how high too,
Fuck how high too.
Fuck
dude.
how high too. I
don't want to do that shit.
Yeah.
Are you super into movies? What are you super into? Like, what are you into
movies.
other than comedy?
I play a lot of video games, or not video games. I play Call of Duty specifically. Don't come at me with any other fucking questions, okay?
The new Call of Duty?
Absolutely.
What is that?
It's called Modern Warfare. It's like the fifth,
new Modern Warfare?
The newest one. It's these games are horrible, but I can't help but to be very competitive.
What console? PlayStation?
Xbox.
Oh, okay, cool.
I started there and I kept with it.
I have an Xbox too.
Yeah, man, like playing GBs and shit. Like really just, I put a lot of pride in how good I am at Call of Duty. But that's like a me thing,
Yeah.
Like I come home.
You were never a Halo guy?
No, I played Halo 3, but just for like the games you could play.
Okay.
Like I didn't play normal objective game modes or whatever. So I play Call of Duty a lot.
Okay.
And I challenge any fucking person who listens to this podcast. They have Rust on the new fucking game. If you know what that is, your boy's got a sniper and you're getting fucked, okay? 360 no scopes, go fuck your mother. So I play a lot of video games.
I'll add you. I
wanted
to get that new Modern Warfare.
It's fun. It's there's a lot of bullshit, but that's when you're into something, you're gonna complain about it.
Yeah.
This and I listen to a lot of music.
Yeah.
A lot of music. I play instruments, but really I'm not very good at it. But I like to do it when I'm bored. Like I play guitar or go on GarageBand on my iPad and just make synth sounds all night long. But movies for sure. Movies are a big deal. Yesterday, I was hanging out with some friends, and so high, too high to drive home.
Yeah.
So I looked at the nearest movie theater near me, and it was a Harkins, and I fuck with Harkins. Fuck AMC. Listen, it's all about about branding. I don't fuck with AMC. It's too commercial. Harkins feels like somebody's dad's place, And so the soonest movie playing was The Invisible Man.
Okay.
And
you saw that?
Yeah, and I'd heard good things about it. And Kevin Bacon was in a movie that's kind of similar to the thought of The Invisible Man in the 90s. It's called Hollow Man.
Yeah.
He's like a scientist in terms of...
Fucking love Hollow Man.
It's great. Kevin Bacon, people sleep on Kevin Bacon.
Bothers me so much.
He's got a new podcast coming out, and I think it's like a character thing kind of. So it's not just a regular podcast.
It's like the Ron Burgundy podcast?
Kind of like that, I think. So I saw
Hollow Man.
I was wondering
how long until those caught on.
Yeah, they're so good. And so I thought it was a fine movie. I was super judgmental of a lot of it, but shows, I don't want to, it's hard for me to describe them without going too much into detail, but movies do things nowadays where they, right off the bat, in the first like 10, 15 minutes, they have to establish like their audience. They have to talk kind of like who their target audience is, and it's always a little bit out of date because when they filmed it 9 months ago, and like, just like the things people are saying, like when they say like lit in a movie, instantly, fuck those people. Mm-hmm. Did you hear the word lit in Uncut Gems? No, because there's a fucking reason. Because they're good at making movies.
Yeah.
So
it's also based in 2008.
Right. Okay, fine. Fuck me. Trevor knows nothing. I can't read English. So
movies are my thing, dude.
Yeah. So in Invisible Man, I'm like, the concept of that is fucking horrifying. And it hasn't really been done much.
It's supposed to kick off the monster universe. Well, kick it off.
And that's awesome, and that's cool, and it's fresh. And I thought that it's hard to watch the main girl, the actress. She's in like Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah,
and
Elizabeth
she was like,
Moss.
Yeah, she looks like the actor Jake Johnson. She looks just like him if it was a woman, and she acts just like Jonah Hill. So like her like when she tries to be funny, because no movie can just be serious anymore. There has to be a comedic relief at some point. But besides that, once it starts getting into the thick of it, like the build up, the motive for the movie is pretty like wishy-washy.
Yeah.
But it's way better than The Conjuring 3 or whatever's happening. Yeah. And it was genuinely suspenseful. It was cool. It was I think Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 91, which is insane to me.
Really?
Yeah. And then I saw 1917, and so everyone was talking about this fucking movie, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
And so I hope this shouldn't be a spoiler, but one thing that I heard them talk about is how like long the scenes were, how they managed to, it looks like it was shot, 6 scenes were shot. So it's all like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it doesn't seem like the camera's cut at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so when you remove that, the story's fucking pretty boring. Now, if you're somebody who cares about cinematography and cares about the technicality of making movies, like how the fuck do they make a 360 shot without cutting?
Yeah.
And shows literally like do a 360 and then aerial view, and you don't see anything. Like you should be able to see the camera in half of these scenes. It's impossible that they didn't. So whatever they did is really cool.
Yeah.
But at the same token, I gotta save my brother. My brother's, he's in the war, and I gotta save him. That's the whole, like anything that's planned like that, I'm like, oh fuck yourself, dude. This doesn't. And if it was true, you died. Get blown up by bombs. How do you not get blown up by bombs? Only in movies that I feel have offended me do I try to take the literal angle. Because obviously it's a movie.
That's fair.
Do you ever watch Cinema Sins?
That's pretty great. No, I do
on
not.
YouTube? This guy is just such a fucking dick.
What's your favorite movie though?
My favorite movie like ever?
Yeah. Top one.
I think Django Unchained is my favorite movie ever.
Okay.
I think that that's just amazing. I'm really big on dialogue. I'm really big on cinematography.
Yeah.
Even like actual themes and plot lines don't interest me as much as like how good are the characters. I really love character films.
Yeah, Tarantino.
So obviously, yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's like his thing. I feel like man, just nobody can write and talk like that and just have it not seem so like out of date.
Yeah.
You know, like old 70s movies. Like he could make a movie today and it's like he did with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And it doesn't feel hacky at all. I actually, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the first time I saw it, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
I was pissed off.
It's pretty weird.
I built it up so much.
It's just, I mean, you can't, Tarantino's movies are like, you can't really know what to expect.
Right.
So based on the previews of that movie, you kind of were like, I think maybe. But then it's like this, it's really 2 movies. He made 2 separate movies and put them together.
There's no story. There's no story arc, really. There's no plot line. It's just kind of like compiled scenes of these 2 people, which is going with what I like about character building.
Yeah, it's really just the Manson family.
Right.
And killing Sharon Tate. Right.
And even that doesn't really come into play until the last 30 minutes of the movie. But fuck, was that sequence hard to watch.
Yeah.
That end sequence? When's the last time you saw some boobies in a movie? You know, there's things they don't cover.
Hustlers.
Like they used to. Hustlers.
J-Lo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw a boobie?
Oh,
you saw some J-Lo
strippers.
Movie? Yeah, well, I assume they were clothed strippers.
Oh, I don't know if you do
2020
see
strip
J-Lo's
clubs.
boobs, honestly.
But
you see a lot of other boobs.
Dude, you remember like the Vince Vaughn era, the Ben Stiller era of movies? Mm-hmm. Always, just at least once a pair of boobies.
Oh, and it was like comedic relief to like show some titties. Back in the day.
It's just we're away from those times, and I get it. You don't want to subjectify anybody, but But same with gore and like violence. I feel like half these movies cut away from shit when it's about to happen, especially in these horror movies. I mean, you get occasional little like I'm gonna stab somebody, but dude, that scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood what Brad Pitt did to that girl, with the phone, hit her. That was when I was in the theater, I was with my mom. I was so like, what? I put my hand right over my mom's eyes.
Really?
Like to my mother, I was like, you cannot
watch
so funny.
This.
This is horrifying.
Yeah, but a lot of the like edited scenes like that though tend to be just because of purely ratings though.
Yeah.
Like they put them in the movies and then they like do you know how movie ratings work at all?
No, I don't think so.
I get a film degree.
Yeah.
So fucking yeah, the movie rating system bothers me a lot. But it's basically just it's an independently owned and operated company. They've been doing movie ratings for decades, forever. And basically what it is like a panel of people who work for this company that watch every fucking movie. That you have to submit your movie to these people, and then they give you a review of your movie with the rating, and then they'll give you like options like cut these scenes, do these specific things, change these words to get the rating changed to like PG-13 versus like rated R. And so like commercially PG-13 movies make way more money than rated R.
Right.
Because rated R is restricted and they don't get the teenage demographic. Yeah. And I mean these days most of the people going to the movies are teenagers.
Yeah.
I mean, not just these days, but in the course of history forever.
For sure.
Yeah, since they were invented. So most companies, that's why having an R rating is like a big deal. Like Deadpool being the first superhero movie with an R rating was like risky for those studios.
Yeah.
Purely because they went into it knowing they were going to make less money.
But they didn't.
Right.
They made the most money almost imaginable, right?
Right. But like, so those horror movies when like, they like cut away when you're like, come on, I want to see them like fucking bash their brains in. They most likely did shoot it and put it in. And then that company's like, if you want the PG-13 rating, this is one of the scenes you need to cut.
But I don't need like people, having sex with intestines. Like I don't need like the gore to get to that. Like,
but a lot of it's even just basic shit of like, you said fuck 4 times and we can only allow it once.
So crazy
type of thing.
Just put movies on YouTube. Do what Andrew Schultz did with comedy. Independent filmmakers. There's a movie coming out. I don't think Jordan Peele. Oh, dude, it's Candyman. Have you seen the trailer for Candyman?
I have, yeah. It looks pretty spooky.
Because it's not Jordan. It's that girl who's directing. It's not Jordan.
Yeah, it's like he's produced by Jordan Peele. Yeah,
but it still has the same vibe. All the I don't know if he did it with Us, but he did do it with Us. I don't know if he did it with Get Out. But Candyman and Us have like very popular hip hop songs from like the early 2000s, slowed down and played on strings. Like with Us, it was the song like I got 5 on it.
Yeah,
you didn't know that was the song, dude. The way my brain works, and if I get fixated on something, when they played the teaser for Us, you only heard like 3 notes from a violin.
Yeah,
and the dum 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 dum. I know it's not gonna help at all, but that's like what they played. Make them the right notes. And I go, I know that song. I know that song. So I spend all day re-listening to it, trying to just, if I have to find out what song this is.
Yeah.
And if I'm starting to lose it, I can't figure it out. I try to go in the YouTube comments. I scroll until somebody mentions
Google it.
Well, because it was so early, the little trailer. I go,
what is the song in the Us trailer?
Right, but it had came out that day.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just fixated.
So you're that guy trying to write that article.
I'm the one. I'm just another person. And then if there's anyone like me, hopefully I can put the comment down there quick enough so they can save some of their time. Because I will not do anything else but try to find out anything. If it's an actor in a movie.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I cannot. And I'm wrong sometimes, but I can't fucking sleep till if I need to know something, I gotta fucking know it.
Fuck.
I can't just be like, yeah, whatever, I forgot.
You're super obsessive.
Yes, but only about shit that does not matter at all.
Yeah.
Only ever about dumb shit.
Interesting.
Yep. It's fun, though.
That's fascinating.
I got 5 on it.
Big Tarantino guy, then. You're a big Pulp Fiction fan? You like Pulp Fiction?
Yeah. That's first
Pulp Fiction's my number 2 movie, dude.
Yeah? What's your number 1?
Back to the Future.
That's a good fucking choice. I mean, dude, there's just such great... Man, I think the 90s, though... Again, I haven't seen very many movies from the 70s, except for like old horror stuff. That's really 70s
that's
is the most.
fair.
But I think the 90s have the best movies ever made. I think that in a 10-year period. Don't get me wrong, like Back to the Future is great, and like all the like those like Judd Nelson in fucking Breakfast Club, like that Lost Boys, that shit's all really good. But dude, once you started getting weird and you started getting like the movie Seven, Fight Club from the 90s, you're getting like the Blair Witch Project, like, or that might have been 2000. Oh no, that was 99.
I think it's 90s.
Dude, just the 90s. Yeah, can you look it up? I think it's 1999. That shit's so wild. It's so funny to watch it today and be like, this is so stupid to me. Watching Blair Witch Project, but when first seeing it in theaters.
Oh, yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah. I enjoyed Blair Witch Project still. It's, it's pretty cheesy, but...
You get 3 Tarantino movies in the 90s.
I enjoy it a lot.
You get Reservoir Dogs, you get Pulp Fiction, and Jackie Brown, which people fucking sleep on.
Uh-huh.
Jackie Brown is amazing, dude. Dude, Robert De Niro and Jackie Brown doesn't say a fucking word. That used to be my favorite movie of all time.
Lost Boys?
Lost Boys is just like, that's like, if I watch that movie, I just think about being a child, dude. They play fucking
Lost Boys is good.
The Doors.
I'm a pretty big fan of the 80s, but I've never really thought about, like, what's my favorite decade of movies.
80s is great for horror movies.
Yeah, 80s is great for a lot. John Hughes' heyday was the 80s.
But then in the 90s, you get, like, Scream. You know, you get I Know What You Did Last Summer. Those are really, really cool.
The
like
end of the
Psycho.
90s was pretty huge in horror, that's for sure.
Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers. Well, Halloween started in the 70s, dude. That was like 78 was the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
But the 90s,
Scream
dude,
was Scream was like the
Matrix,
next level of
Speed.
slasher film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scream is so good, dude. I thought Scream... Bro, Saw, too. Speaking of really good... Oh, they're coming out with a new series on Saw.
Spiral.
And it looked fucking... At first, I was like, what is Chris Rock doing? What are you doing, Chris Rock?
It's a little weird. It had like a Super Bowl commercial.
Did it? Oh, I
didn't.
I saw the trailer for the first time last night.
Yeah. It looks different. I mean, I'll probably watch it.
But Chris Rock's also doing like a season of Fargo, too.
It bothers me that they're doing like a Saw spinoff, though, and it's not called Saw. It's called Spiral. And I'm like...
It's probably going to be trash.
I really enjoyed the Saw storyline. Like, until the end, like the last three movies.
Yeah.
But, like, the Saw storyline of, like, the guy was dying and, like, he wanted to, like, teach all these people lessons and, like...
The first Saw movie
you find out they're all, like, pretty scummy people and shit. Like, he's not just torturing, like, good people.
You cannot feel horrible for them after.
Yeah, it's almost like one of those Dexter relationships.
Yeah, right.
Where
you side with the killer.
Yeah, you're like, I totally can see why he did this. And then they just took it in this weird fucking random ass route in the
because
last
it just was
movies.
like kill porn.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do.
How weird can we kill somebody? Dude, the first movie though, the reveal was so big.
Yeah.
The reveal was huge.
Yeah, I'm a big Saw
Even the
fan.
second Saw was now that's when it's like a little bit more let's increase the in the writing room, you know, let's make the game more intense. Yeah. Even that was fantastic. Even Saw 3 was not horrible.
Yeah.
But then after that, dude,
which one's the one where they're all stuck in the house? Saw 3?
That's 2.
Saw 2.
Saw 3 is just really about the cop.
Yeah, Saw 2 is interesting. When they throw the girl
needles
in the in the pit of needles.
So hepatitis.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the hardest thing to watch.
That one's brutal.
Digging.
Yeah. See, I'm a big Saw fan because it started as a short film.
Really? I didn't know that.
And it got like a big following. I think it's Sundance. And a company picked it up to make it a full movie.
Okay.
And at Sundance, it was a short film of the actors in interrogation rooms describing what happened to them.
Oh.
Like, so it was nothing like gory and like them locked in that room and stuff.
So they just filmed people pitching the movie.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But one guy was like, you know you did it, right?
It was like a 10-minute short film that got like a huge fucking following, and then Saw came out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thinking about those movies, have you? So there's like a new kind of like, not genre, but kind of a genre. They're all A24 movies, but a couple of these horror movies.
I love A24.
Like Hereditary. Yeah. Hereditary really kind of kicked it off, I think. Or The Witch, dude. Have you seen The Witch?
Yeah.
Wild. So I think it starts with The Witch.
Yeah.
And they like make Hereditary. Then they make Midsummer.
I haven't seen Midsummer.
I haven't heard great things about Midsummer, but the new one, I wish I could remember what it's called, but it's about a girl whose like belief in Jesus and God is so powerful that she's taking what she thinks his word should be and implementing it in people's lives. And it's Kate Blanchett that plays like the adoptive mother. Dude, this trailer
called Saint Maud.
Yes, it is horrifying.
Ash Wednesday?
Ash Wednesday? No, Saint Maud. Saint Maud was right.
Oh, okay. It has Ash Wednesday in quotes.
Oh, yeah. That there's a part in the trailer where she's like, telling herself how much she believes in God and this is what she wants, and she puts thumbtacks in her shoes.
Oh yeah. I've seen that. Yeah,
Bro,
I've seen that.
The way it's so scary how she goes. When he speaks to me, I physically feel him in me, and it's showing her in this euphoria of feeling God, and so much so that she needs to now act upon those who don't believe in him. It's horrifying.
Yeah,
it's so scary, dude.
And it's crazy too when people are actually doing that out there.
Yeah, I can't believe, dude. I don't believe in anything that much.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I don't have faith in anything. I'm just like.
Yeah, no, me neither at all. I could never imagine hating someone that much or wanting to kill someone because they didn't believe what I believed.
I came here today was talk to you about Scientology, and I know that it appears on the surface.
That'd be so funny if
it just converted. Yeah, and that's what. I was in LA once, and
that's when they got you.
They almost did. They almost got me just because their building was big. I look at this huge building on the top. It just says. Scientology right on top.
Apparently, they're everywhere in LA, right?
Yeah, dude, I never saw a Mormon until I moved here.
Dude, there's a lot of Mormons in Arizona.
Yeah, they all migrate. There's 0 in Wisconsin, at least.
I honestly didn't know until I moved here that there were so many Mormons in Phoenix. Moving to Phoenix. I've lived in Arizona my whole life.
But Phoenix itself.
Yeah, I had no idea. I've met a couple Mormon families, a couple. In my entire life.
And then all of a sudden everybody
And then I moved here and literally I had coworkers who went to the same church that had worked together for 10 years, Mormons. And I was like, wow. And then I was talking to my dad about it and he's like, yeah, my whole school district is Mormons because my dad's a teacher. Yeah. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, we get days like Good Friday off because
and everybody has long hair.
No one would come to school if we didn't have Good Friday off. Yeah.
A lot of suspenders.
And I'm like, really? And yeah, dude, it's weird, man.
If I had to be honest with you, I don't.
Good parents, though. They're good people.
I'm sure they got good hearts. They dress like the Amish. They might be Amish. I don't know what Amish means.
They pay their taxes, and they're nice people.
Yeah, Mitt Romney 2020. Okay?
Yeah. Hey, if Mitt Romney was running this year, I'd fucking vote for him.
Dude, that's I know absolutely dick about politics. I know nothing.
Yeah.
I know nothing. I'm so uneducated in it. And my grandmother is 72, and she's like, to the point where she's grabbing my hand. She goes, Trevor, I need you to vote. And I'm like, whoa, dude, I don't know what that means. Like the fact that it is affecting you so much that you're like sitting me down. I need you to come over. We need to talk. Sit me down. I really need you to vote. It's horrifying to me. I'm like, if it matters this much, that's so much pressure on me. And so I've decided that because like I feel like I should vote. I voted the last time. 1-0, you know? Yeah. I didn't know who to vote for, and I just really everyone said to go this way, so I was like, okay, I'll go this way. I just turned how old was I? Yeah, I was like 18. So now I'm like, I feel like I have a much more responsibility, more of an adult. But my problem is I can't like watch these debates. I can't watch these people because like the people, the nutritionists, like I was saying before, I think everybody's always lying.
Yeah.
I think no matter what you say on this camera, at this panel or whatever you're doing, or even if you're here, all of it could be a lie.
Yeah.
So how am I supposed to know who's right and who's wrong? So I think I'm just going to put my own name down and vote for me.
I hear you.
You can do that, right?
No.
There's got to be at least one blank box.
It doesn't count. You're not registered. It's just a throwaway vote.
Just a throwaway vote.
But yeah, no, I mean, I don't feel like if you don't want to vote, I don't care if you vote or not, but
somebody will care. Somebody will care either way. No matter what I do,
I just feel like do whatever you want. Like, I mean, I would rather people not vote because they don't feel comfortable voting than voting because people are like, they told me to, so I just picked someone.
Well, that was the thing with like the Trump and Hillary thing, is because everyone it was convincingly, look how bad she is, with me knowing no knowledge on it at all.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, well, she could be a lizard. You're right. She kind of looks funny.
Yeah.
So maybe not her.
Right.
Maybe not.
Well, it's like the argument of like, over half the country didn't vote. Like,
really?
Most people didn't vote for either of them.
So wild.
You know? And it's like...
Doesn't that say something? Shouldn't it?
It says a lot. I mean, realistically, a lot of people don't want to participate, and I don't blame them. I mean, there's no incentive. Like, I mean, what do you get out of voting? Other than you get a pat on the back from other people who wanted you to vote.
And, making half or, a good portion upset because of whatever decision you feel to make.
Right.
The crazy thing is I have people that believe in opposite people the same exact amount. That's so odd to me that I can tell you this is that, and this person believes in that 100% wholeheartedly. There's no doubt in their mind.
Yeah.
And then one that's exactly the opposite way. Like the only political argument that is in my head right now is something along the lines of that President Trump, it's been the lowest unemployment rate in the country, in however long. The percentage is so low, and when it was Barack Obama, it was so much higher. But then this is what happens: is if you're on one side or the other, the one side says, "Look what the president did," the other side goes, "It's just a residual effect of what the past president did." I'm like, "There's no way to win. There's no way to have a clear-cut answer."
Oh yeah.
So I'm fucking going to Tibet. I'm
you
out
could
of here.
argue any direction you wanted to argue about any of it,
except for how high 2 is trash. There is no debate there.
You're correct there. That's true.
Did you ever watch Mac and Dev go to high school?
No, what the fuck is that?
That was that was me in high school. That was our fucking movie. It was Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg. They went to high school. You never saw Mac and Dev go to high school? That shit was funny. Andy Milonakis is in there for a minute. Probably remember Andy Milonakis?
I do.
Put some cream cheese in my go lock it. Mac and Dev.
I remember that song. Got something in my pocket.
Yeah.
And he puts
I got peas on my head.
I got bologna. I think he put bologna in his pocket.
Yeah. I got peas on my head, but don't call me a pea head. Bruce Lee's on my head, but don't call me Bruce Lee head.
Mm-hmm.
God, that guy's fucked. Yeah, that movie was our...
I vaguely remember this.
It's just him smoking weed, but this was the height of Wiz Khalifa's career, chart-wise.
I vaguely remember when that came out. See, but that was when I was already in college.
Yeah. For me, that's, I think, freshman year for me. Someone younger. What year did it come out?
2012.
No, it was a sophomore. That song came out, I think, the same year as the song "So What We Get Drunk."
That's crazy to think you were a sophomore in high school. I was a junior in college.
Crazy, man. Time. Our parents fucked at different times.
I know, weird, huh?
Wild. I feel so weird because back to what we started, where this whole thing started is.
Where did it start?
It started with. Something stupid, but right after that, we were talking about that I'm not a millennial.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And here's another thing that I find weird. So I'm standing outside of your house. I'm gonna tell them the address, and I'm like, what year does Gen Z cut off? But there's 4 articles that all have different numbers. How this is a made up thing,
constantly changing.
But it's a made up thing. Why not make it solidified?
It's for sure.
So but clear cut. I don't think I'm a millennial. I am the oldest version, though, of Generation Z / the iGen is what they called it. So that means me and 7-year-olds are in the same category.
Right, yeah,
which is currently. Because that's my demo, 7-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as 22-year-olds
40
to 37-year-olds currently or whatever. Yeah, no, I definitely get it. The whole generation thing is stupid. I mean, the only reason I picked millennial is because of how often it was used in the media, especially 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That was when it was millennials are eating Tide Pods, millennials are not buying houses, millennials are ruining the economy.
They're only working at a place for 2 years because we don't want to be fucking bored.
Millennials are ruining the corporate American system, all that bullshit.
Bring it down.
So I was like, I'm going to name it Millennial Meltdown because, 1, it's always in the news. And for 2, I'm like, it's my generation, and it's a slander term now of millennials this, and it's
it's pretty fucked.
Even when I say it on stage,
rude,
and I'm like, I'm a millennial. People are it's the room immediately tenses up a little bit.
But it's cool to do that. It's cool to have power too. That's why, bro, having power like that to make people feel away just from you saying a word is so cool.
That's why I start the joke that way, and I'm like, I'm a millennial. It's oh shit.
It's hard for me, man, because I feel like I have an old soul. Or
that's fair.
My interests are a little bit more mature than I am, and so when I get up, because I feel this way, but I look a complete different way. It's so crazy to me that like at my job because I sell appliances, so I run into people all the time. People ask me if I'm still in high school sometimes.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? But then, because I don't see me that often, but when I do, I see a giant fucking toddler. I see a big baby, and then that grows neck hair sometimes. Yeah. But it's so weird, people's perceptions, just based on seeing me on the outside. And I feel like I'm almost disappointing. Like I seem like I'm more fun, or need a helmet. I don't know.
That's so funny. No, yeah. I mean, I definitely get what you mean. I mean, I experienced a lot of that growing up. Like, I dropped out of high school when I was 17.
Great idea.
And then, so I started going to college. I got a GED and started going to community college. And then going to community college, I was the youngest one in all of my classes. Yeah. All the time. And then even going to college in Flagstaff, I went to, like every class I went to, I was still like the youngest in every fucking class. Yeah. So like I was a junior. By the time I was 19, I was a junior in college.
That sucks. No drinking along with like the rest of the people who are in your class.
Yeah. So I would meet people and they would all be 22 or 21.
I've always friended up in age.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Just as what worked out. I remember lying.
Yeah, it was always pretty similar.
I met these two people, and I hung out with them for like 3 years, and I lied to them about my age.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was 12, and I lied and just told them I was 14 because I think they were 16. Yeah. Because I thought that they wouldn't like me if they knew I was 12.
They might have not liked you if you were 12.
No, because I can't remember how it came out, but we hung out for like 2 summers. Yeah. During the school year, we wouldn't see each other that, but in the summers because they lived right down the block. Yeah, I remember them finding out, or I told them or something, and then we stopped being friends. Yeah. Like, well, I get it. I lied. I understand. Dude, that house.
We couldn't hang out with that fucking 12-year-old.
Yeah, and what type of sociopath at 12 years old is like, I'm 14. What do you mean? What type of psycho?
Please be my friend.
Yeah, dude. So sad. I can remember leaving that house, dude, and this is the coolest thing I think I've ever seen nature-wise in my life. And I've seen mountains, dog. You know, I've seen trees. I've seen miles of trees. I was sitting on that front porch of that house, and I could see a rainstorm coming. Have you ever seen that before?
In Arizona?
No, yeah. Negative. Okay.
Negative. No, yeah. I mean, only here, though.
Right. So it is so insane to see, like, 3 blocks away, rain, and you're like, it's fucking dry right here. And then you see it coming towards you, and I knew I was on my bicycle, so I'm fucking like stand by me moment, like on the train tracks, just running and watching this fucking rain come behind me, dude. That was the coolest thing I ever saw. I thought God was real then.
That's so funny.
And then my girlfriend broke up with me sophomore year, and I stopped believing in God. Well, how could he do this to me?
I don't know what that had to do with being young or whatever, but I've seen a haboob come at me.
That sounds insensitive. I don't know what that means.
What's
a haboob? Is that a person?
Do you really not know what a haboob is?
Stop saying it like I'm supposed to.
A desert storm, like a wall of sand.
Oh, a sandstorm. Yeah. Darude. You meant Darude.
No,
you made the song Sandstorm. Oh, that's insane. Crazy how that name doesn't, like, you know, you never hear that name in movies or anything. I've seen the movie Twister, and they never talk about a haboob. That's so funny. Haboob.
I guess we didn't really have one last year, so you probably didn't.
There was a little bit of a sandstorm. I took a Snapchat.
Like, you see the wall of dust in the distance?
Oh, that's insane. That's the shit like in Interstellar.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this happens in like Iraq, but it's like 3 miles high of sand. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
So you just gotta stop your car, right?
100%.
You can't drive through that. I saw there was a bit of a sandstorm because I live in Surprise, and there's a lot of fields, so it was really windy, and you could see like the little vortexes. Yeah. Of whatever dust they're called. Is there a funny name for that too?
Dust devils.
There you go. Because that's a mascot. That's insane. But I saw it coming, and I made a Snapchat of me not being able to, and I go, it's like the movie Twister, fuck! And I say I watch it all the time. It was a good moment, dude. I wish Snapchat, bro, I wish I was around during Vine.
Dude.
I wish I, participated.
I was around during Vine, and I wish I participated, too. Honestly, man, I wish I made a podcast in college 8 fucking years ago.
Yeah, you're in a good place now. I mean, you're sitting across from fucking Trevor and Mischo, dog.
Oh, I know. I'm killing it.
Looking at haboobs on your, hey, can I come over and watch and see some haboobs?
Isn't it kind of cool to watch, though? It's kind of wild.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
It looks like the world's ending.
Yeah.
Say no to Haboobs. Vote for the right politician this year, and he will cancel
At
Haboobs.
my old house down the street, I went to Walgreens and I called Sam and was like, "Babe, there's a Haboob coming. I'm gonna be here for a little bit." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Just look outside." And it was just coming. Like, I got in my car in the parking lot and saw it and was like, and I'm literally a 45-second drive from my house.
And you're like,
I was like,
I'm not doing it.
I will not make it.
Wow. How long does it
like,
so
visibility goes down so bad. Like, you can't see anything.
There's been
it goes away, 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Still, it's insane. That's so cool, though.
Yeah.
I can remember some pretty torrential snowstorms in my days.
Yeah.
Being from the Midwest to the point where it's falling so much that you can't see. Also, fog. A lot of fog. I see it a little bit out here.
I've never been in fog, really.
Fog
Not
sucks
like
because
real fog.
And it makes the same sense, visibly as like a Haboob would, that if you have your lights on, if you turn your brights on, it's way worse.
Yeah.
Because you're just seeing more of the fog. But yeah, fog, it was a big deal. Like especially you pass any sort of farm fields, you can find them here too at night if it's like a cold enough night.
Yeah.
But it's just like a layer. And it's so cool to drive through them because you feel like you're driving through clouds. But
like a layer
miles
of fog.
long.
Yeah.
You can't drive more. Dude.
Driving on a highway of fog and shit.
When I first moved here and I got a job in Westgate, so I would have to drive like 20 minutes kind of through like, barely lit areas. It's all field land.
Westgate used to just be farmland.
Really?
Yeah. So where the Cardinal Stadium is?
Yeah. It's only like 8 years new, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that, or maybe 15 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think someone told me that on the podcast. Now I'm passing it along.
And I'm learning about Haboobs.
Yeah.
And I want to say another word that sounds like Haboob, but it's
insensitive.
Yeah, right. I'm driving home, and it's 3 a.m. because I got done working at the bar. And I'm driving so slow, and this guy was beeping behind me, and he passed me, because I think it was like 50 miles an hour. But I'm like, bro, it's the middle of the night. There's not a lot of lights here. I'm not driving fast. Because in my brain, I'm like, I wish I could make it up. I'm so worried that a deer is going to run out in front of me.
Yeah, no.
Because that's such a big deal.
Living in Flagstaff, I totally understand.
Even in Flagstaff then.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I could make this shit up. So I'm like driving slow because I'm like, deers could be. I go, there's no fucking deers here. I swear to God on my life, right when I thought there's no deers here, a human man ran across the street.
Oh my God.
In the middle, there's not houses here. It's farmlands. Maybe he works on the farm. I don't know. But it ran across the street the second I was like, there's no deer. But there's meth heads.
Doing drugs out
there. But there's fucking
yeah.
meth heads. So, and they'll do a little bit more damage than a deer will.
Dude, that's the weird thing about those like empty Arizona streets. Like you can go down a back road.
Yeah.
And there's just like someone walking.
Those are the scary people.
Like without shoes on.
Yeah. That's horrifying.
And you're like, what is happening out here?
How many
Where
lives
are you going,
did you just
bro?
take?
Like, what are you doing? And you're like, did I just pass someone who committed murder?
Yeah.
Or is about to? Bro. Or they're just going on a stroll on some meth and like they'll be home in a little bit.
Do you have like a cutoff age or like a moment in your life that you hit, and once you hit it, whether it's good or bad, that you'll just like stop putting up like, borders? Like I have a border around the fact that I don't ever want to smoke meth, I have like, I'm better than meth, I think. But there's a level of success or failure that I could hit where I think that I would at least want to experience it.
Like meth specifically?
Anything.
Or anything.
Anything.
Yeah, I think you probably, that's probably a normal thing in life in general, just getting older. Like,
I feel like having the thought is more normal than acting.
I'll fucking
on it.
give it a shot. Like,
for me, it's 70. We'll see what happens as I get older. But
like, I would really like to do acid before I die.
You've never done acid?
No.
Oh my God.
But I'd really like to do it before I'm like 35. You know what I mean?
I recommend it. I was talking to somebody about it, and they thought that the way I described it, it was more chemically altered and wasn't like the real deal. But I took acid for like a year and a half.
Wow.
Like probably twice a month.
Wow.
With one guy, and we
might contribute to your anxiety problem when you smoke weed there.
Could be, but that was always positive. Until the last time, it was always a really cool experience.
Yeah, brains work in mysterious ways.
And it at least, I was like 18, so again, I was a little bit younger, but it didn't feel like we were just being like, oh my God, I'm so fucked up. Because people, if anyone does anybody and they say the words, I'm so fucked up, the only reason they did it is to get so fucked up. Right?
Yeah.
But like with this, it was so like we were really into music, so we were buying vinyl at that time and being fucking lame, but we had a record player.
Yeah.
We would take like a tab, 2 hits of acid or whatever, and play cards, this card game that we made up. And we would play it until like 30 minutes came in. You start to feel it in your back, like in your bones. You start to feel like something's happening. Yeah. And then you just start like fucking blast it off, dude. And it would last for like 4 hours, 6 hours. We'd go outside. We'd run around outside. It was so fun, dude. We'd listen to like all like Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, and 4 without stopping and just smoke cigarettes and just have the weirdest conversations.
You are an old school hippie.
Yeah, right.
Like 19, like doing acid, listening to Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, little loser.
Yeah, the other kids are like, I don't know, that Trevor guy's weird, man.
Yeah. He keeps saying man.
He's hanging out doing stuff my dad does.
Yeah, dude. And so every time we would do it, we were in a setup. It was in a basement, but he would sit where you were sitting, and I would sit where I was sitting, right?
Yeah.
And so my whole existence of knowing it in this mind space, because, acid brings you to a different dimension, man.
Yeah.
All I know is this brick wall and this shelf full of, like, his dad's shit. Like, boxes of, and there's always Glad, like boxes of Glad bags.
Yeah, okay.
He kept them there. I don't know why. And so that was my perspective. And then one time we were like, let's switch spots, dude. And so we waited for it to kick in, and then we switched spots, and it lasted 10 minutes before we were both like, no. I need to go back to my spot.
Yeah.
That's how, like, ingrained in comfortability in what we were doing was. Yeah, it was fun. And the last time I had ever taken acid, we each took 5 hits of acid.
Did you say comfortability, dude?
Yeah, I think so. Is that not a word? Being comfortable?
That's the word that Bubba got mad at me for saying on the podcast. I said I was uncomfortability.
Uncomfortability sounds...
And he's like, that's not a word at all.
I feel like if you used it in the form of, I was at a level of uncomfortability, I think, sure, it might not be a word, but do you know what the fuck I'm saying?
Dude, right? I mean, it was this whole thing. Sorry, now I'm going on the same tangent we went down before. So
fucking look at Bubba taking over 2 podcasts.
I know, dude.
What a great guy,
Son
Bubba
of a
McComb.
bitch.
Shout out to Bubba McComb.
He is a great guy.
This is coming out after the Sunday's tight show.
He put on a great show on Sunday.
Did he? I worked until 9, so I couldn't see it.
I know. You've fucking never been to Tempe Improv.
Yeah, right. Imagine that's where it all comes undone.
You gotta go to a show. You gotta go to a show.
If somebody's there, I have a whole thing about seeing professional comedians.
What? What's your thing?
That
we got like 10 minutes, by the way.
That club, seeing a comic at a club, I can fuck with, but maybe depending on who it is. But
yeah,
I went last time I was in LA. I say that like I'm fucking cool. It's the first time I was ever in LA.
The last time I was in LA.
Yeah, the last time I was in LA. That's when you know you've been there for a while. You just call it LA.
I don't think anyone called it.
No, I don't think so either. Well, how would we know? We live here. So I went and saw Joe Rogan and Friends show because I didn't understand.
That sounds sick.
It was cool. I didn't understand though what the store really was. I didn't understand that in the main room or the original room, it's a list of 20 comics all doing 15 minutes, and it's the biggest comics in LA are going up and just working shit out. I didn't understand that at the time. So I went to the Rogan and Friends show, and I saw Jesus Trejo open. Killer. He works at the store, and he's like an up-and-coming guy, but for sure, past this stage. Then Brendan Schaub, and then Joey fucking Diaz, and then Ian Edwards, and then Joe Rogan. And to see those first 3 guys do like 15 minutes, 20 minutes was so refreshing, dude. Yeah. The Joey Diaz, I couldn't believe, I looked around the room, I was just in shock that everyone was like, when you laugh to the point where you can't breathe anymore, and you're just silent, you're just...
Yeah.
Like letting like these little bowel noises out.
Yeah.
And then saw Joe do an hour, and that was fine. And then I went to the Laugh Factory the next night and saw a couple of people I don't know. Allie Makovsky, found out about her. She's a killer. I just saw her on Twitter because I follow her on Twitter because I thought she was so funny.
This weekend.
She's doing the headlining shit now, which is so cool. And I saw Andrew Santino and Chris D'Elia. So my point is, I would rather see them in that headspace than go to a theater and see them do their polished hour. Now, this is why. I saw Bill Burr do his polished hour in Chicago at the Chicago Theater. Granted, I didn't have great seats, but the majority of the seats aren't good seats for me. I got really bad eyes. I couldn't see his facial expressions. I couldn't see...
Do you wear glasses?
No, God, no. What do I look like? Some sort of bitch. So, but then when you watch an hour on Netflix...
What do I look like, a bitch? I'm sitting over here wearing glasses,
So I see Bill Burr's hour live, right? And I'm pissed because I can't see it far. I know I'm laughing. What he's saying is hilarious. But then when you watch his special, his polished shit that he's been working on it, trying everything he can to make this the least fattiest hour of material possible. And you're seeing it in a camera, in a frame where it's zoomed in, because his facial expressions matter. His hand gestures matter to these jokes.
Yeah.
So seeing that in the theater, unless I guess if I was front row, I would reconsider it. So I would 100% rather see a comics hour on Netflix than see it live. You know, but seeing them work their shit out, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's their open mic.
I talked to Bubba about the same thing, but I think the Tempe Improv is a really good place to see comics because it's not too big. Because like you go see someone at Comerica Theater, and
is that the Round or is that a different place?
It's no, it's not Round, no. But there's screens on the left and right side, so if you can't see, you're watching the screens anyway.
But then you're fucking watching TV,
right? And you're basically watching what you would watch on Netflix.
It's not
so it's
intimate.
kind of a bummer to buy those tickets.
Yeah.
So like going to seeing Joe Rogan is one thing at like the big theaters and shit.
Yeah.
But I prefer going to like Tempe Improv or Stand Up Live, like no question about it.
I've only been to Stand Up Live. I went there to support a show once, and then I went to Kill Tony. And that shit was awesome.
I think Tempe Improv is way better than Stand Up Live. Yeah,
Stand Up Live's got more seats, though. I think.
I think it does, and I think that's the problem.
Yeah, you think it's a little too big?
Yeah, I think Tempe Improv is nice.
Isn't there a balcony at Tempe Improv?
Yeah.
Is there a second story? That's cool. That's dope. Yeah, I'm excited to go there. Start doing stuff. I'm sure I'll do a New Faces at some point. I just that whole thing about like bringer shows is hard for me. It's because I don't know anybody. Dude, I'm not asking comics to go. It's fucking
doing New Faces is super appealing to me, but asking 10 people to come watch me do 5 minutes of comedy, in my opinion, is ridiculous.
For sure.
And I'm not gonna probably ever do it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's so rough.
It's just I don't have 10 people
if I can never find
that
myself
I want to invite.
If I can never find myself just getting on it, I guess that would be probably the most ideal situation. I gotta get out though, dude. I gotta like Big Pine and shit. I've never heard. I didn't go last year because I was pretty fresh to this place, and I know that.
I'm gonna record my Stir Crazy set tomorrow since they offer that.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna use that to submit. Hopefully it goes well. I mean, we'll see.
Do you know when the submission for Big Pine is?
Yeah, it's going right now. Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to submit because I submitted to the Altercation Comedy Festival in Austin, Texas.
Really?
Yeah,
I have never heard of that.
Lou Moon was telling me about it. He didn't tell me he thought that I should submit, but I decided to just because I was like, why not? Because my Stir Crazy tape, it's on. I put it on YouTube, only because they make you, like for submissions.
Oh, right.
You're not sending files. You're just gonna be like, hey, come look at this.
Right.
And the tape, at least for what the material is, it's fine. It's recorded really well, which I think is a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't want to send in some phone footage.
You could submit until June 4th. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. That's information. So that's cool. But definitely, for sure, it's good tape. I had tape for
it's dope.
both my shows, but both of them I didn't do really that great. It was like when I would, like the laugh level was low. The laughs were consistent, I think, for me, for what I needed, but in the audio, they just didn't seem loud.
See, and I don't know. I would love to talk to someone who works at a festival or has done it before. Like, I would love to know what they look for. Like, are they looking for a level of laughter, or is it purely just they're listening to your jokes and judging if you're a good fit for the comedy festival?
Well, that's what I think it'd be more of. I think they need X amount of white people that are this height. You know, like it's probably down to that.
Like, I would kind of assume so. Like in certain areas, they're gonna look for different comics, right? Like,
dude, I've heard that in New York at some of the clubs. If they're like the clubs demand, there has to be X amount of women, X amount of minorities.
Really?
And at that point, you just lose what's funny and what's not funny.
Yeah,
if you
that's weird, dude.
But I'm sure a lot of these festivals are kind of probably the same way.
They might be. I mean, they might be like, hey, we need 5 more women.
Yeah, I'll be a woman. Can I be a woman?
5 more black dudes.
I don't think I can pull that one off.
No, 5 more black chicks. I don't know. I don't mean to generalize either, but
I do. I do for sure.
Maybe I should
just
submit
be
my
correct.
Podcast too. I never even thought about doing that. To me, that's weird, but it's a lot of exposure. Like, people would like see your podcast written on all the shit.
Yeah. It's a good thing. Dude, the exposure, that's a whole nother topic.
I just don't know about doing a live podcast. Like,
dude, I'll tell you what, the only one I've ever been to, shout out Bubba McComb for finding a way into my brain like he does every day. He put on a live podcast at Off the Cuff, and I didn't even know there was going to be like a roast show, because roasts are pretty popular now, you know.
Apparently.
They're everywhere. And I say that with this face like I'm kind of an asshole, and I don't mean to, because roasts are funny. But then I didn't know that roasts were this popular. Besides Al's Valpy's Burnout, which everyone should always attend all the time. And if you don't, go fuck yourself. You're dead to me. Sorry
She'll
about that.
She'll be coming on in a couple weeks to promote the next Burnout.
Burnout 4.
Yes.
That's gonna be fucking insane, dude.
Whatever Burnout it is.
That is I'm pretty sure it's the 4th
one,
and that's gonna be the dopest shit ever, bro. The last one was amazing. It was at Shady Park. Did it sound like I said shitty? Because I didn't mean to say shitty. I meant to say shady.
Shady Park is at Shady Park.
Fuck, that was great.
I heard it was pretty awesome.
It was fantastic. There's probably 100 people there at the start of the show.
That's sick.
Yeah. It's in a prime location. It was on a Friday. It was at a very popular bar. Fucking Al's Valpy is amazing. So, Bubba's live podcast was such a good experience, man.
Yeah.
So good. In the roast, that was like the first roast battle I saw. And every joke hit. Every single joke. Banger, banger,
yeah.
Banger, banger. It was amazing.
That is amazing.
Bubba puts on good shit, dude.
He does.
Bubba's the best.
I know. He's an awesome guy.
But fuck Bubba, for sure. He makes me feel...
You have a show tonight, so we have to wrap this shit up.
Absolutely.
We didn't talk about comedy a whole lot, but I enjoyed that. It was good.
I thought it was fun.
It's a nice change of pace from all the comedy I've talked about. So
yeah.
It was good.
Cool, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Thanks for the beer, dude.
Definitely hope you come back and we do some more.
I'd love to. I got a lot of shit that I don't know about that I like to talk about. You know?
Yeah, man. I could talk to you about movies for a couple hours for sure. So.
Hell yeah. Cool, man.
Do you have anything you want to plug? Social media or anything before we go?
My Instagram is Trevor Mischo. My last name is spelled Mischo. For all y'all that don't know, I'm the third most famous Trevor. It goes Trevor Walls, Trevor Noah, and then Trevor Mischo. And I'll never beat the Trulies guy, so I'm going to go kill myself. All right.
That's fair. Yeah. All right. On that note, thanks for listening, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Leave a review on iTunes or any of that cool shit. All right. Until next time. Peace.